Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate every single second, every minute that you spend watching this video. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, hit that subscribe button right now and then click the link beside that to make sure so you never ever miss any of the video them when I post up, right? Good. So thank you again for stopping by. I really appreciate your time. So in a previous video, and I will just drop the link in this video and also in the description box, we spoke about we started to talk about the 5 laws of stratospheric success. And it is from a book that I read called The Go-Giver. And The Go-Giver is a book that was written by Bob Burg and John David Mann. So that's Bob Burg and John David Mann. And it's a book that, I'm not promoting the book, I'm not being paid. This is not an advertisement for them. It's just a book I read and I felt like I could share it with you. The concepts are pretty simple. There are things you have been doing every day of your life, but maybe you have not been intentional on doing those things and you don't know that, being intentional will help you to be more successful. So thank you once again for joining this video. Go ahead, meet and greet with the persons in the live chat, and I don't know, maybe you'll find a new friend. So we talked about this young man who had a hot dog stand and he eventually, got to owning several restaurants and, building his wealth, having real estate and having really good connections and, good business practices and stuff. And it all stemmed from him adding value. He added more value than he was being paid for. Now, adding the value don't mean say you're going to add more of your products or your service and not being paid for it. It just means you add more value. So today we're going to talk about, after adding more value than you get paid for, how to be compensated. So today's topic is the law of compensation. So in this section of the book, again, another story was told of a teacher. Now, this young man had gone to this company to meet with the CEO of the company. He was invited by his mentor to go and meet with this CEO. So he met with a lady, and he was there like, sort of surprised in the room, the conference room, like, this looks like some little picnic. Like, look at the paintings, look at the, the designs on the wall. And she said to him, I was instrumental in the design and all of that. And he said to her, oh, well, you must have lots of kids. And she said, well, you could say that I am a teacher, or I was a teacher, So he was like, okay, I guess that, we'll tell the story as to why the place looks like a kindergarten classroom. And before going into that conference room, he had inadvertently gone into another conference room where he saw a lot of a lot of adults, playing with mud and pottery and all of these things. And he was like, these are big people. What are they doing playing with all this pottery and stuff? So he asked the lady about it. Her name was Nicole. And Nicole said, well, those are top business executives. And he's like, what? Playing with mud and pottery and all of these things? And she's like, yeah, they're trying to brainstorm, a next big idea. Anyhow, so his mentor shows up because he was late, and he shows up and he greets Nicole, and he's like, oh, Nicole, thank you for taking the time out to see, my friend. And he was like, oops, so you are the CEO? Good thing he never said anything out of the way, right? So, she explained to him that she had been working at a kindergarten school. And, in her opinion, the system was just, teaching persons how to think, what to do when they think that. It was like just a routine, a regime. And so she found she had developed a system to help her students. And she found that the students, were really benefiting from this system that she developed. And she became frustrated because she really could not help more than the number of students that were in her class, and that was about 25 students. So, after a while she decided that she was going to leave, and then not only that, she was just there being a kindergarten teacher, just getting the salary that she was getting, and then she was using her own resources to build and to improve on the system to ensure that it was helping students. Now, she got great reviews from parents because their children were really benefiting. The parents could really see the difference in how the children were thinking and, what they were putting out as, result. So she decided to get the help of a parent to help to design a, to help her to design the system, and also, other little people who she needed to get in order to really make the system work. So what she did was she sought, the connection, and she sought the investment and, help then to make the system bigger. And to date, according to the book, she had a system that was helping the entire country and other countries, in total over 25 million children. Now, think about from 25 to 25 million. So what happened was, she could not be compensated for her idea while in the classroom setting because she could only reach 25 children, right? So what did she do? She said she had to expand her reach and impact in order to increase her compensation. So now her compensation is limitless. When she was in the classroom, it was limited to whatever her salary was at the end of the month, right? Or the end of the 2 weeks. Her salary was limited. So having increased her reach, the number of people who she served, and also increasing the impact to ensure that what she's selling, what she's putting out there in her educational system, it was actually a children learning system. She had to ensure that that was actually impacting the lives of those persons she was reaching. And so that gave her the unlimited compensation, because guess what? The impact and the reach will not stop. You will have children moving from one stage to the next every single day. And as long as she keeps putting in what needs to be, improved or, change out systems or whatever to ensure that she continues to impact and reach, then she will always have compensation. And whether or not she chooses to go to work any single day, she will be paid. Yes, she will be paid. So essentially, your income is determined by how many people you serve. Your income is determined by how many people you serve. So if you're in a one set system, your income is set. But if you are working for yourself, your income is going to be determined by how many people you serve. And there's just no going around that. Because if you're serving one person, that's the income you're getting. If you're serving two, then you're getting the income from two persons. So your income is determined by how many people you serve. And you have to expand your reach and your impact in order to increase your compensation. So the law of value that was added first, where you know the person's birthday, maybe you're giving them some extra ketchup and stuff. Now you need to increase your impact. So what the hot dog person was doing was adding more value, and in adding more value, he started to increase the number of persons he was serving, because the more you know people name and whatever, and you got them hooked on coming to your hot dog stand, then you were reaching more people. So, the value just pays for itself. So you have to increase your impact in order to increase your compensation, and your income is determined by how many people you serve and also how well you serve them. How well you serve them is also very important. So if you want more success, you have to find a way to serve more people and serve them very well. So because the story surrounded Joe, I think his name was, because it surrounded Joe, once Joe learned a law, he had to go back and apply it. He had to go back and apply the law that very day. In the first instance, he did apply the law. I didn't tell you about it. Maybe I can tell you about it now. So in the first instance, when he learned the law of added value, he had to go back and apply that law. Now, the law of added value means that you don't have to get something. It is you giving, it is you sharing. Now, Joe was in a very competitive environment, and he had received a call. This is the law of value. He had received a call telling him that, so he received a call telling him that he had lost an account that he was working on. Now, Joe was just a week away from his third quarter. No, Joe was just a week away from his third quarter, and he needed to get those results in. He needed those accounts. So he got a call from, his I don't even know, his rep, to tell him that, hey, you know what, we lost that big account, Yeah, people them say them want somebody with more overseas connections, and you just not have that. So sorry, I did everything I could do, but we lost the account. And Joe was like, he was a little bit upset, but he had to apply the law of value. So what he did was he said, you know what, hold on. And he reached into his drawer and he found the phone number of his competition. And he gave it to the rep on the phone and said, listen, this is such and such and such. Give him a call. He has good overseas connections. And the person was like, but this is your competitor. And he's like, it's okay. If anybody can pull it off, he can. And he gave away that phone number. Not out of a dog-eat-dog world mentality, but because he was adding more value than what he was being compensated for. So, on the second law, the law of compensation, he got a big parcel of coffee, Rachel's famous coffee, and he didn't know what to do with it. But of course, his mentor was actually testing him. So he got the coffee and he went back to his office and he's like, how am I going to apply this law of compensation? I mean, and remember now, the law of compensation doesn't necessarily mean you have to be getting money right away, being compensated right away. It's about serving and serving others well. So what he did was he went to his office and he said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. And he made coffee for every single person on his floor. Yes, everybody got a cup of coffee. And some persons looked at him like, something all right, something is up. Some persons were appreciative, being served. And when he got to his desk, he saw his boss and he was like, what, you want another cup of coffee? And his boss said, no, I'm good. I'm good. Have a seat. And he sat and his boss was like, tell me something. How you feel serving all them people a coffee? How did you feel? And he said to his boss, to be honest, I felt stupid. Because that's not something Joe is known to do. He's not known to serve others like that. He was a dog-eat-dog, kind of person. So he's like, I felt stupid. And his boss said to me, well, guess what? Sometimes you feel stupid. Sometimes you look stupid, but do it anyway. And, he felt better off. I don't think he immediately just no longer felt stupid, but he felt better off because he was serving others selflessly. As hard as it was for him, he did it. And as stupid as it made him feel, he did it, and he gave everybody a cup of coffee. And at that point, persons were really frustrated because they were coming down to the last 2 to 3 days of trying to meet their targets. And Joe was up and about being mentored by somebody else, not even meeting his target because he was nowhere near his target, but he still stopped and was finding time to serve. So it is with us sometimes, when we're serving others, it feels stupid. We really feel like, oh, what is me I do? Me actually out here, put portion food or parts of food in a box to give people on the streets, or I am going through my closet to find things that are good that I no longer wear. Maybe I've never worn them, that I want to, walk into the homes and, give them away. I am buying lunch for everybody today. It feels stupid. Like, people are going to be asking, what got into you? What got into me? And it makes you, like, you want to do a double take, like, do I really want to do that? But guess what? It may feel stupid, it may look stupid, but serve anyway, because it is in serving, it is in giving, it is in sharing that you will receive, and you will, trust me, you will receive abundantly. You will. Sometimes I am asked too, like, you're always getting hurt. You're giving, you give your last. Nobody's saying you're supposed to be silly with your giving, but do not stop giving because somebody hurt you, or do not stop giving because you think you feel stupid or you feel stupid. Do not stop giving because somebody says, aren't you tired of giving? The more you give, it really is, you get a lot back. It may not be exactly what you were focusing on, but you will be receiving. I promise you that. You give to get. You give and you will get. You don't give to get. You're not giving just because you want to get. That's the mentality that I, want to get rid of. I'm not giving just because I want to get. But I know that when I do give, I will get. So, it might sound stupid. It might feel stupid. It might look stupid, but do it anyway. So, there is absolutely no sense to me personally when I learn a principle that resonates with me and I don't apply it to my life. Yes, so after reading the book, which I read in a day because I really do love reading, I decided to apply each principle to my life. Now, the principles that you apply to your life doesn't necessarily have to be all, I have to just apply them in my work, or I have to apply them at home. It's any situation that you're in. It could be you're on the train. Let me apply this particular principle. It could be, I'm cooking. Let me apply this particular principle. It could be, I'm about to enter a meeting. Let me apply this particular principle. It's anything. You could be walking, past somebody on the street. Let me apply this particular principle. But whatever happens, you are able, or you should be able, to apply all principles, all the 5 principles that I will be talking about. So far I've done 2, the law of value and the law of compensation. You should be able to apply those 2 principles to your life every single day. Every single day, you should be able to apply it to your life. Whichever aspect of your life you want to put it to, you should be able to do that, right? So don't read, don't listen, don't just hear, don't just get the information and not make it into knowledge, okay? And then not using it as wisdom, okay? So I like to share. I read. When I read, whatever I see in the book, that's information for me. When I process it in my, in my little mind, my big mind, yes, that's knowledge for me. And then when I apply it to my life, that's wisdom for me, because I don't want to go back to before. I want my life to change based on what I read. No, I don't change my life based on everything. I change my life based on how I apply it, how it's going to affect my life. Those are the things that I apply to my life. And I recommend the same for anybody who is getting information, to make sure you know what you're applying to your life and how you're applying it to your life, how it will affect you, right? So remember, just try your best to apply the principles, the law of value, the law of compensation to your life every single day. And remember, if you work a 9-to-5 job and your job limits you to an income, then yes, you can surely add the law of value, but certainly I don't know how the law of compensation will apply to you, because if all you do is sell 100 items for your company and you are paid one flat rate, then it doesn't matter. The law of compensation will not apply to you at that point. Even if you do work as a commission salesperson, the law of compensation, it will apply to you, because the more you sell is the more you'll be paid. But at the end of the day, you will still be limited, because it's not like if you sell 100 items, you're getting all the money for the 100. You're getting a percentage off. So you're still able to apply the law of compensation with that, because you determine how many persons you impact and how many persons you reach, right? But just remember, your reach and your impact and your compensation can be limitless when you decide what it is you want to be compensated for or how. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I really appreciate every single second, every minute. I appreciate every single thumbs up. I appreciate every single comment. I appreciate that you just took time out of your busy schedule just to share with me today. Thank you so much for joining me. And if this video enlightened you anyway, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. Share my videos with your family and friends. And remember, number one, the law of value. Number two, the law of compensation. And I'll be sure to record and to share with you the other 3 laws and the rest of this great book, The Go Giver. So, peace out. Thank you.